Right. And I think, iGlobal School of Business being an educational institution, right, you can also, I think, align the the experience economy concept even to a higher education, any school, any college, university.
Right. Not even, especially.
Right.
Right. And yeah, I mean, you can see it over the last 20 or 30 years, how there really has been a shift in thinking about the student experience and how dorms have changed. And I'm trying to think of the old term when I went to college, the student center, right? That now is filled with Starbucks and wonderful activities
Right.
that people can do. It is all about how you relate to them. And most universities do now think of students as customers, right? For the most part, it's actually their parents or the government that are the actual customers, right? They're the ones who pay the money.
Someone's paying the bill, right?
Right. The one who's paying the bill is the actual customer. You need to think about that. But students are beneficiaries of whoever is paying that bill, and you've got to cater to them. It doesn't mean you give every win to them and you give them passing grades when they fail and so forth.
Right.
You have a equivalent to a fiduciary responsibility that financial services have to to create productive citizens and have the degrees that you provide mean something. Right. But you still have to cater to to each individual student.
Exactly. So in terms of this experience economy, you've alluded to already the pandemic and how e-commerce has, companies have been forced to, kind of experience up, if you will, their products and services. Do you see any additional or more trends happening in the experience economy over the next couple of years or so?
Yeah, I mean, the obviously the other big shift that's happened is moving more from physical to digital experiences. When we couldn't go out and have those physical experiences, we brought them in and increased our our Zooming and our entertainment streaming and so forth, and that will only increase. Although I think the best experiences will be those that actually fuse the real and the virtual, that have digital embedded into some physical environment, some physical experience, like alternate reality games and augmented reality and so forth. It's not just reality or virtuality. There's a lot of options in between. I wrote about that in my book called Infinite Possibility. And then a second thing that is happening is there's been this tremendous pent up demand for experiences coming out of the pandemic. Increasingly, what people are looking for is not just the merely memorable, but the highly meaningful, that they want to have more meaningful experiences. They recognize that this is what gives life meaning, is the experiences that we have.
Right.
And then thirdly, and closely related to that actually, is that sometimes the experience itself is not enough. Sometimes the experience can be commoditized. And there's one more economic offering after that we actually did talk about in the original. We have a new way of looking at it that I just finished adding today, another Harvard Business Review article. Look for it in January, unless something happens, that'll be out in the magazine, about going beyond experiences to what we call transformations, where you customize an experience and you turn into a life transforming experience. So something that's just right for them. And that obviously is what the university environment is really about. Is at a high level transforming students to graduates, but giving them the skills and the abilities and the experiences they need to be successful at a career of some sort.
Right.
Healthcare is all about transformations, going from sick to well. Fitness centers going from flabby to fit. Anything that basically is about helping people become healthy, wealthy, or wise. Right, when you include your business, healthcare, and also financial wealth management. Is really shifting into transformations and need to think about how they go beyond the experience, provide that next level of differentiation, which is the highest level of economic value you can provide. There's no greater economic value you can provide than helping someone achieve his aspirations.
Right. And transform their lives. Right.
Exactly.
And interesting, my wife has been working in a hospital here in the Washington, D.C. area, for over 40 years. And her staff has been trained by Disney. So now they call it, patient experience. Yep. But, it's in that case, we're trying to save lives, but hopefully that will transform people as well.
Right. Well, research, I mean, actually, I work more with hospitals than any other industry because research shows that the better the patient experience, the better the outcome. And that's what it's all about. That's what transformations are about in any industry,
Sure.
is the outcome. Did you get the outcome that you desired? And it's all about that customer success in that outcome.
Right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Now, I know in the back cover of the book, you and James are co-founders of Strategic Horizons LLP. Is that a consultancy, or are you doing also training and all kinds of things?
Yeah, we always resisted the term consultancy because we don't do projects, right? We come in and we'll work one-on-one with executives. We'll do workshops, speeches to excite people and generate ideas that they can do. We do coaching, particularly for chief experience officers. We do have a certification course, Experience Economy Expert certification course with over 300 certified experts around the world. Okay. As well as a frontline video training offering called OnStage. And so rather than consultancy, we call ourselves a thinking studio. Okay. A small company, 3 people, you get our thinking. That's what you get.
Right. And you get you and James. That's part of that.
Exactly. Exactly. And our managing partner, Doug Parker, he does everything else so we can go out around the world. And I finally have my first, I've had several physical engagements in the US. I finally got one globally in October.
Good. Well, I wish you all the best with that. One last question for you. So as we look at your thinking studio and the experience economy, how has education played a role in your life and your career? What has it done for you to transform you?
Well, so my biggest educational experiences, to use a global word, were one is getting an applied mathematics degree at the University of Wisconsin-Stout, it's called Wisconsin's Polytechnic University, which taught me how to think logically and develop models. And that's what I've done ever since, is I'm a model maker. I develop frameworks that first describe what's going on and then prescribe what companies can do about it. And I joined IBM and worked there for 13 years in technical jobs in management, strategy, and so forth. And then they sent me to MIT for a year to get my master's degree in the management of technology. And I found out that I had to do a thesis. And I immediately said, I'm going to do a thesis I can turn into a book. And that was my first book, Mass Customization. The first 4 chapters in the appendix are my thesis at MIT. And then I expanded it when I got back at IBM and published that. So that is why I am here today, is because of my experience at MIT, and particularly turning my thesis into a book.
Well, very cool. I mean, and anyone that's done a thesis of any kind, right? You have that wide body of knowledge and that research you've done, turn it into something more than your original thesis, right?
Exactly. Make it matter.
Exactly. Exactly right. The book is called The Experience Economy. We've been chatting with Joe Pine of one of the book authors and of Strategic Horizons LLP. Joe, again, great to catch up with you. Thanks so much for your time. And we look forward to seeing you again very shortly.
All right. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you.